Hello everyone, thank you for tuning in to learn about variables. In VB.NET, a variable is a named memory space. It means that if you create a form and you want to assign a certain value to your storage in your code, you can create what we call a variable. That's why we say a variable is a named memory space. That's a definition that you will get in any programming language. I've created a form here where you can see there is an assign button and there is a text box, and then there is a retrieve button and there is a label. So what will happen here is that the text that I will put inside this text box, when I click this button assign, it will have to be stored in a variable, a named memory space. Then when I click this button retrieve, it should bring back what was there in text box 1, which is now going to be retrieved from the variable, because we are going to be saving it to a variable and retrieving it from that variable to display in this label. So this is how I'm going to show you the way a variable is declared in a code and how it works. So what happens first is that you have to double click the form. So I double clicked the form, and what you see here is the code blueprint. Now under this public class form1, it's where you can declare any variable that will be seen by all your controls on the form, meaning your text box, your labels, your buttons will see it if it's here under this public class section. So when it's under a private sub, it means it will only be seen by that object, like form1. Okay, so I'm going to put it under public class, where it can be seen by not only form1 but everything that is on that form. Right, so when I go there to public class, my cursor is blinking. When we declare a variable, we start with a statement that says dim. This is a language for Visual Basic. Dim means you are declaring, okay, you are declaring a variable, and then when you declare it, you will have to give it a name. I'm going to name it store as integer. So when I type integer here, it will come on a list, then I will have to take it. So dim store as integer under public class, then it means I can click anywhere. It means now this statement will be seen by all the objects in the form. So I'm going to go back to my form1 design and go to assign button to double click it. So now you will see that now it has opened a section where I can write a code for that button to take everything that comes from any object so that it can save inside the variable store. So I'm going to say store equals to text box 1.text. So I will take that text box 1.text. Okay, so before text box 1.text, we will just say me dot. All right, so store equals to me dot text box 1.text means that the name variable, the variable named store, will contain the text that comes from text box 1. So if I go and click design again, now I'm going to code this retrieve to take out the value inside store to display it in label 1. Double click retrieve, and then I'm going to say label 1. So we'll start with me dot label 1 dot text equals to store. So if you write this name store in your private subsection and you didn't declare the name store as a variable under public class, you will normally get an error because this is not recognized. So it has to be declared first, like I declared it there. Now it will be recognized throughout all my private subs, like you can see now. So now let's run our code and see how it looks like. So I'm going to click the start debugging button there. Right, so my form is running. I'm going to type, let's say 750. When I click assign, it has been assigned to the variable. So when I click retrieve, now it comes here to show that it is actually running and it's coming from a variable. So let me close this, okay, the form, and it has stopped running. I want to show you that it is actually not coming from that text box, it's coming from the variable actually. So under the button 1, where we actually wrote a code that it must take the value and put it in a variable, it says store equals to me.textbox1.text. So under this code I can write a code to clear the values that comes from textbox1 after they've been assigned to a variable. So I will just say equals to, okay, me.textbox1.text. all right, so this is a clearing code. All right, I just put it like this with quotations. This means that the code will clear. All right, this code will clear everything inside textbox 1. Okay, that's why you have this sign, which is it means that it will clear everything inside textbox 1. Okay, so I'm going to run it again, and then you will see, let's say now 850 assign. Now 850 disappears because there's a code here that actually removed this when I click. So remember, in programming, the code or your platform that you use to program reads your code line by line. So the first thing that it did, it removed the value and stored it in a variable, and the value that has been stored in a variable, because it's remaining in a text box, it was removed, okay, completely. So it's gone, it's not deleted, it is taken to be stored in a variable. So when I click retrieve, it will come out again as 850 from the variable. All right, so it's like a temporary memory space, it's a named memory space, right? So that is how you declare your variables, and that is how you actually retrieve from a variable after you have stored. And remember, you have to assign your variables before you can use them. Thank you very much. For those who never watched tutorial 1, you have to start there, because that is when you will learn on how to create a form, put a text box, put a label, put buttons, name your buttons the way you want them, assign, retrieve, or any name that you want to put on a button, so that your form can be attractive and have a meaning that is understood. Okay, so you have to start with the first lesson that I've actually posted, and then you'll be able to understand what I'm doing right now. Thank you for watching. Enjoy.